Welcome back to the 3D Printing Canada YouTube channel. With me, I have the Bambu Lab X1E Combo Kit, a professional printer designed for engineering applications. Opening up the box, we will remove some protective packaging. And so far, from first glance, it does seem like they packed this guy in nicely. Bambu is usually pretty good for that, so no surprises there. Okay, I've taken the liberty of taking everything out of the box, and this is what we got. Right here, 3 test spools of filament. It's nice that they would send us 3. This guy here, it's an LED lamp. And this right here, I believe this is the HEPA filter. I know with the X1E, one of the big selling points was their carbon filter. Now let's rip these sheets off and check out the printer. Up top here, just under some tape, we have our instruction manual. It's always important with any printer, even if it's a company you know well, you might just find some interesting information. I'm gonna go ahead now and remove all this tape and all the plastic off. Once you remove the tape, you can easily take the top off, because the next step we're going to be doing is grabbing our accessory kit here. Inside, we're going to have some Allen keys that we're going to need to be able to remove the AMS out of the printer. First, let's actually see what's inside of here though. So opening up our accessory kit, power cord, great. Cords for AMS. Right here, this is going to be our screen. Looks like they're giving us a spare hot end. Some glue. Safety guidelines. Those are always important, especially if you're new to 3D printing. This is our spool holder. We got some nuts and bolts here. We'll set those down, and then last but not least, they've given us 2 Allen keys. So let's remove those screws and get the AMS out. Once you remove the tape and open the door, you can see clearly marked with the red arrows here and here. Those are the guys that are stopping the AMS from leaving the printer. And there is a section in the instructions that it wants you to use the short end of the Allen key to remove these screws. So I'm gonna do that now and see if we can get the AMS out. Okay, once we've removed the screws, the next step is to remove the AMS. We're gonna do that carefully, obviously. They do have some protection here. So we'll slowly slide that out. Make sure no PTFE tubing is caught on anything. I'm just gonna set it here now because the next step, I'm gonna remove the extra packaging they left for me just to make sure everything was secure. Okay, the next step, we're gonna be removing the AMS cushioning. That's this guy right here. As you've probably seen now with a lot of Bambu printers, I like to put this guy in here just to make sure everything is nice and secure. So you can see with the 4 red arrows, we have one here, 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 and here. I'm gonna remove those screws now. Okay, we have removed the screws. The next step, it's just a little bit of tidying up, just some maintenance. We're gonna be removing the cardboard that's right here. We're gonna be removing the foam here, and last, we're just gonna be grabbing this guy and taking it out. Just one piece that hadn't asked us to yet, but I'm just going to do it now because the next thing we're gonna be doing is assembling our AMS. So I've taken the liberty of removing all the tape off. It was super satisfying. So now I'm going to just place our AMS just up top. I'm gonna face it so you guys can actually see. Now remember, it does just sit like this. Here's my 6-pin and my 4-pin. I've got a bunch of PTFE tubing. I'm gonna show you the diagram and we're gonna plug everything we need to plug in. I'm just gonna be starting from the bottom and working my way up. For the 4-pin cable, it wants you to plug into the top guy here, just up into the bottom of your connector. And I did hear it click as I was plugging it in. And now for your 6-pin, it's gonna go into the side of the connector up into the AMS machine. And it does say in the diagram, you can use either one of these guys. Before I do that though, I am gonna remove this PTFE tubing just from the tape, just so it doesn't get in my way there. Now I'll let it be free. So again, I did hear a click, and I'm just gonna go to the closest one. That feels pretty safe. Okay. The last step is this PTFE tubing is actually gonna be going into your connector. While we're back here, the next thing we're gonna be doing is assembling our spool holder. You can see from this label here, it wants us to remove this screw. Here is the spool holder, and then we're gonna re-screw everything in back onto this side. Once we remove the screw for the spool holder, it's gonna be placing just like this, and they've given us 2 screws that we're gonna use to replace it. So I'm just gonna screw those in now. The last screw we're gonna remove is right by your bed. You can see just a little bit of red. There is a screw here and one on the opposite side. We're gonna remove those. That's gonna free up our bed, allow us to plug in our screen and actually turn the printer on and let it do its initial setup. Okay, the next thing we're gonna be doing is installing the screen. So I'm just going to remove the tape carefully on this. And our screen now, you can see here, it is gonna go into this part here, and you'll know because you'll hear a click when it's actually in. And then once it's in place, you're going to take this guy and push to the left, and that'll, again, make a clicking noise, and you'll know for sure it's locked in. Okay, that's how you assemble your Bambu Lab X1E. The next thing we're gonna do is turn on the printer and go through its initial calibration process. They say it's normal to hear noise and vibrating as it's doing its initial setup. One thing to note, there is still styrofoam underneath the bed. It says, let it do its initial calibration. Once it's done that, then you can remove it. So I'm not touching it. Let's turn on the printer now. Just seeing a nice Bambu Lab logo, looks good. I'm also seeing some lights come on the AMS, so the connection process of that went okay. Okay, language, I'm gonna hit next. Now, one of the nice things about the Bambu Lab X1E is it does come with an Ethernet cord, so if you wanted to go directly to your internet, you can do that. If not, here's where you would connect to the network. I'm gonna do that now. We'll hit agree. I'm gonna hit skip. Okay. And this is the section earlier where you had to remove the 2 screws after you remove the AMS and the AMS holder. So I'm gonna hit next, and the cushion pad has been removed. Okay, gonna take several minutes. We're used to that. And after about 5 minutes, the calibration will complete. And it says once the calibration is done, you can remove your styrofoam that was just underneath the bed. Now I'm going to hit next. Okay, and okay, so this is good. So please ensure that the heat bed, fixed foam, and the desiccant are removed before printing. Sounds good. Okay. And we are back with 2 parts to show you that we printed off the Bambu X1E. We decided to print some real-world applications, so we have some coordinate measuring machine fixtures, commonly found in machine shops to measure parts. Time is money, and money is money. And when it comes to using a fixture that's 3D printed, the time you're gonna save to have one ready to go on top of the money you're going to save compared to the cost of one that's made out of metal or aluminum is huge. So say this is your fixture on top of your CMM machine. This is the part. I want to see how accurate that part is. I can now place this 3D printed part on machine. I will use the screw to make sure it's tightly in there, and then the CMM machine can do its job. If you need any help designing jigs and fixtures, you can contact us here at 3D Printing Canada. So both of these fixtures here took us about 8 hours to print using PETG. So hopefully you found that useful, and if you have any questions about the X1E, you know where to find us. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.